what I'm trying to strive to do rather, is instead of thinking of it as a destination, a place to finally get to, I came across this after school YouTube video, and it was a piece from Alan Watts. It's like 4 minutes long, and
Right.
it's life is not a journey. And essentially, it's like when you view life as a journey, if you use the context of that metaphor, you also fall into the trap of thinking that there is a final destination that you're trying to get to even at all. And Alan Watts equates this to that there is really no reason for life. It's not that there's no meaning for life, but it's playful. The meaning of life is playful. He uses the analogy of music instead of a journey, because the point of a journey is to get to the end, but the point of a composition is not to get to the end. Like, you don't listen to music to get to the end. So the whole point of a dance is to enjoy the dance. And that just so resonated with me. And so as I had been thinking about this question, I started to try to apply that context to this metaphor of mountains. And essentially, imagine that you're at the bottom of the mountain. And if you've ever driven in the mountains, you know, like, you see off into the horizon, the mountains in the distance. And you're able to enjoy the view while moving towards something. So I imagine this giant diamond behind the mountains that I don't ever imagine reaching. And that to me symbolizes purpose, because like a purpose is really just this thing you aspire to. It's not necessarily an achievement to make. And so that is essentially what kind of framed, or is framing rather, what I'm doing online, which is at its best, if I dig deep into my secret wishes, I want to do what I do in my classroom, which is essentially spreading the same message that I was spreading with my students about a month ago in that conversation, where I was encouraging them to live a more creative life. Because if we all live a more creative life, and this may sound really cheesy and idealistic, you make the world a more creative place. And again, that's not something I ever imagined being able to reach. And I don't have the ego to think that I could probably do that. But if all of us to some degree, and this is why I was so moved by your approach, is that there is power in everyone doing their part. And, you know, sometimes we think and we hesitate to do big things because we think we're so small. But if all of us in our own small way did our small things, then we would have a big impact. And this is not revolutionary thinking, but this is essentially where I started to kind of land on as I started to think about these things, which is build towards this, or move towards this purpose. I can be moving towards that direction instead of thinking about I have to get to that place. And if in some small way I can get other people to walk with me in that direction, then that will feel fulfilling without feeling like I am also at the same time, I have to get somewhere.
Thanks for watching the latest clip from the What is a Good Life podcast. My name's Mark McCartney. I'm the host of this podcast, and I'm also a coach based in Berlin. Over the last 2 years, I've interviewed over 150 people around this question, and I've distilled these findings, anecdotes, and experiences into both corporate workshops and one-on-one coaching programs. If you're a corporate looking to book a workshop for your next event, or you're a working professional in need of finding answers to some of the bigger questions in life, please direct message me below for a free 30-minute consultation.